relationships, and all that good stuff. And so, week number 2 of the summer shorts.
Summer shorts, summer shorts. You wouldn't let me find a button, so I had to think of a jingle.
Created your own button?
Well, I really didn't create it. That's obviously Baby Shark, but I thought it fit. Yeah.
Okay.
Summer shorts.
Maybe.
I could do the background.
Okay, awesome. We are way off track. Week number 2, summer shorts. Last week, not so short, but it was a question. We are answering your questions this summer. And so throughout May, June, and July, most likely, we want you to submit your questions to us. We've got a ton of them already, which is so fun. Some really, really good ones. If you submit your question and we answer it on the air, we will send you some cool redeemed marriage swag.
Yes.
We got some great things. We've got redeemed marriage notebooks. We've got like journals.
Yeah.
We've got
Tumblers,
hats,
t-shirts.
and T-shirts. Yes. Yep. And so we'll send you that. But the greatest thing is...
Not all 4.
No, we're going to send you one of those things. But the coolest thing is you're going to be entered into a drawing. And we have a great idea for how we're going to maybe do this drawing.
Yes.
Like probably end of July, 1st of August, something like that.
Yep.
But if you win the grand prize, we will come to see you and take you on a double date.
And I'm just saying, last week was Maryland, and this week is Colorado.
2 great places.
I would go either one of those places.
Absolutely. We'll go anywhere, and we're going to love it because it doesn't have to do with the location. It has to do with you.
That's right. But also, you don't have to be one of the people who...
That's right. We don't have to choose your
question.
That's right.
Yeah,
we don't have to choose your
if
question.
If you submit a question, you're in the drawing.
Yep.
Okay.
So keep the questions coming. If you haven't submitted one yet, go to our website, theredeemedmarriage.com, and you will up the banner at the top is the easiest way. But also the drop-down form under contact, there's one that says ask. And you just click on that, ask your question, and there we go.
Yep.
So we got a great question for today. Where does this question, did you say where it came from?
Colorado.
Oh, you did. You already said Colorado.
Colorado. And here is the question. Are you ready?
Yep.
What is the best way to go about having couple friends while also staying guarded if you think the spouse of the other couple is attractive?
Good question.
And I'm just going to go ahead and say you don't have to necessarily think that the person of the opposite sex is attractive. Like the other person of the couple doesn't necessarily have to be attractive. You still have to be guarded.
Yes. Because, I mean, there's a lot of layers to this, but we could easily say...
Great question.
That, it doesn't have to necessarily begin as this, I'm physically attracted to this person. I think they're pretty or they're handsome or whatever. There's so much more that can be dangerous in there because... As friends, you become emotionally connected. And so then that can lead you to become attracted to them.
And I mean, it is not unusual. I hate statistics and I hate throwing out percentages, but a lot of people that we do marriage counseling with, and it was for us too, it was a friendship. Like it was a friendship.
Yep.
And so even the book that we recommended in January, February,
New Marriage, Same Couple.
It was a friendship. And so it's not unusual for people that are couple friends for that to happen with. And so whether you're attracted to them or not, you have to be guarded.
Yeah, that's right. So a couple of things that I want to say, first of all, is we encourage you to have couple friends.
Absolutely.
That's very healthy. It's very healthy to live in community with other people, people that may or may not be in the same stage of life that you are. But here's one of the things that I've heard multiple times, and I believe this as well. I believe that it needs to be a couple that both of you enjoy being with those people, and it's not something that one spouse or the other is really trying to force the friendship on because sometimes it's one of those and look, there is nothing wrong with when two girls are good friends and they want to, hey, let's go out as a couple with our husbands, and the husbands,
they can suck it up every now and then.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but we're thinking more of these deep friendships. Like, this is one of those things I believe that both spouses need to be like, hey, we feel good about this.
Sure.
We both enjoy their company. And so,
and you don't, if one spouse is like, he just gives me weird vibes, or I get red flags, or then stay away.
That's right.
Stay away. And if your spouse is comfortable with you doing, like going to coffee with that girlfriend, perfect.
Yeah.
But if the spouse is a problem, or there's red flags, stay away.
Yeah.
There's other people out there.
Well, and there's plenty of couples that one spouse or the other, they have the same values that
That's
you
right.
do, and, but the other one does not. And so then that becomes even dangerous. But I think that just in answering this question is that even with your deepest friendships, and I would say not even with your deepest friendships, but especially with your deepest friendships, there needs to be some really strong boundaries.
Yes.
Because with those deep friendships, there's a greater chance of an emotional connection.
Yes.
And so you have to put things in place. And some of the really easy ones are, even if you are really, really close friends, there still doesn't need to be communication individually between the opposite sex.
Nope.
So the wife should not be texting the husband, and vice versa.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
of the opposite.
of the opposite sex. Yeah,
I was like, wait, the wife can text the husband.
Yeah, there is no. I mean, it shouldn't happen. Now you may say, oh, well, what about if we're there's going to be a surprise or something? Include your spouse.
Always.
Or if it's going to be something that you're trying to do for your spouse, include the other spouse. Like, there should never be a one-on-one conversation going on.
Yep.
And so I think that's just a big.
And you can make so many excuses to do it otherwise. Like, I was sitting here while you were talking about that, I was like, but what if? And there's just never a reason to do that, ever. Oh, but I like football and he likes football, and my spouse could care less about football. So it's just easy to banter back and forth. Still not okay.
Yeah.
But she doesn't care anything about football. Who cares? Put her in the group chat anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just never a reason.
And I know that there's people out there that are just going, wow, that's extreme. You but y'all also have heard our story, and if you think that we ever thought something like that
right.
could happen, we would have said you were crazy.
Yep.
But it did. And so we can look at you and say, I don't know. This is one of those things where when you hear other couples that are, maybe they went to school for a whole bunch of stuff and they learned a bunch of good stuff that they can share as marriage ministry type people. You can listen to them and you can believe them. But like your mentor says, when you've been on the field trip, then like we can tell about the field trip way better than somebody that has just learned about the field trip.
Just been to class.
They just went to class. We went on the field trip. And so I just think that there's a lot there. I also believe that if you are really connected, if this is a good couple friend, that you you should have the same values. And so even if this is one of those things that you need to talk about, like, everybody should be comfortable with that. Like, one of those things that you're able to share and say, hey, look, we're just going to respect each other here. And I'm not going to ever reach out and text him. I'm never going to be or her, I'm never going to be in the car with that person by myself, all of that kind of stuff. And if I can't imagine there would be any scenario where the other couple would go, "Wow, y'all are crazy." You know,
That's
because
right. Or that's extreme.
yeah, it's
okay.
just hey,
We don't care what you think about us.
that's right. But I think that, and I think the other thing is just to be, obviously that eliminates the opportunity for one spouse to come to the opposite spouse with some emotional, thoughts and, you know, I need your advice,
Right.
or my wife's doing this.
Right.
Can you help me? And, or could you talk to her about this? There could be a chance that something like that might come up in a relationship, but you always include your spouse.
That's right.
No matter what.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that there's a tendency in that when you figure out which spouse, like, let's just say, for example, this may be a bad example, but we'll say, for example, you had something really hard in your childhood. Maybe your parents were divorced or something, and the other couple, the other spouse, of the opposite sex had divorce in their family, and you're kind of dealing with that together. And how do you handle this? And you connect in that level where you wouldn't connect with the other spouse because maybe they don't have that trauma. And so they don't understand that trauma. And so you're going to them really just for community and to help. And that heart ties you to that person.
That's right.
Without you even knowing it. And like you can think, oh, it's so innocent. You know, he just understands, you know, where I'm coming from. Well, he might, but y'all are tethered because of that connection. Or, you know, my spouse doesn't really like listening about what's going on at work, but she does, or he does, or whatever. And you are creating a pathway of natural conversation and easy conversation, and you are tying yourself to them, whether you believe that you are or not. And those ties become stronger and stronger, and then you start going to them for other things, for just encouragement, for just, you know, and this person, and I don't know that this is happening, but saying that they're attractive, that could be easy to say to somebody, you know, oh, you're handsome, or you look nice in that, or, and then all of a sudden that was easy. And so it's easier to say something else about them being attractive. And then not only that, but you start saying in your head, they're more attractive than my spouse is in your head. And that's just a thought. And it's like, oh, I wonder what it would be like to be married to that. I mean, it is, guys, when I think back to some of my thoughts, it is insane how easily I started sliding down that slope. And things that were really easy at first, like, not easy, but really, not dangerous. Like I thought they were innocent. Thank you. Innocent at first, just led to other things that weren't so innocent, but they didn't seem so bad because that felt comfortable. And then the next thing was comfortable. It was fine. And then that became comfortable. So the next thing, it's just a dangerous thing. If you do not have boundaries that you and your spouse and maybe even the other couple have discussed with, just this is how we're going to do it.
Well, I do. You've kind of touched on the attractive part of it, because I mean, this person specifically asked that, so I want to make sure that we do address that. And you even said, "Hey, be careful about saying you look nice," or "I like that shirt on you," or whatever. If you know that you think that other person is attractive, then I would steer clear of those kind of comments. I mean, first of all, I mean, we live in the South, and that's just one of the things. I mean, it's just, you just say, hey, you look nice, or I like that.
And I've been guilty of saying, like, I like your haircut because I notice it, you know.
Right. But I just would say that if you find someone attractive, you should just for sure steer clear of those things. I mean, probably should anyway, to be honest. But it's just, it's like Heather said, it goes down this slippery slope to where, you know, it could make them feel better. It may cause them to think about what they wear the next time they go out on a double date with you guys.
Right. Oh, well,
and
she
so,
liked this,
yeah,
so
that's
let me
right.
wear this color again.
Just
or,
because I want to hear her say how I looked good. So just stay clear of that. And I would also, this may sound extreme, but if you really do have some physical attraction to the other person, and it's beyond just, hey, I can look at that person and I can say, well, that person looks nice. I mean, there's
nobody's blind.
nobody.
Here.
That's right. So, but if it goes beyond that, and you cannot, I'm saying you can get out of the relationship and not be close friends with that. I mean, your marriage is worth it to take the extreme boundaries.
Yes. And that doesn't mean that you have to get out of the relationship with your girlfriend.
Right.
It's just if I'm a girl and I found a man, if I'm a girl, I'm a girl.
You are.
If I'm the girl in the situation and I find somebody else's spouse attractive and it's becoming a stumbling block for me, and I can admit that, then I need to just go to coffee with the girl and not have that as a couple friend. I mean, the hope is that you recognize it.
Right.
That
you put up the boundaries.
Put up the boundaries and you are open. I don't know. That's hard because it's hard to say to your spouse, hey, I found him attractive.
So, I mean, this is what I was thinking. There's nothing wrong with thinking that someone else is pretty or handsome. I mean, we are human and, you know.
It's not the thought, it's like, what you do with it.
That's right. I mean, you can turn on the TV and you can be looking at the TV and you can see some girl on there and you can know that I think that person is attractive.
Sure.
And I know that there's at least 2 or 3 other people in the world better looking than me. And so maybe, I don't. Wait, why are you laughing?
I'm sorry.
But I mean,
you're the most handsome person I know.
I know, thank you. Words of affirmation.
I really like that hat you have on.
Hey, thanks.
You're welcome.
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
But I just think that everyone needs to realize that it's not a sin to think someone is attractive, but just like what you said, it's what you do with that. And so when you know, and again, we're not telling you don't have to go out on double dates with just ugly people. That's no fun. No, it's just that you don't have you can have friends that are attractive. It's just putting the appropriate boundaries in place and recognizing if there's some sort of a problem in your heart with it. And if there is, then you need to deal with it.
That's right. And talk to somebody about it.
That's right.
Maybe not your spouse. That's a little hurtful.
Yeah.
But talk to somebody, get a mentor, somebody, and say, hey, I'm finding, what are some things that I can do to put into place to stop this line of thinking? Because if it's not honoring your spouse and it's not honoring God, then it's not an honoring thought at all, and it should be.
I mean, I love this question because it is so real life,
and it's so honest. Like it's so easy to come up with surface level questions.
Yeah,
but that's digging deep.
Yeah,
and
that's like, hey, we're about to go on a double date with these friends of ours, and the other spouse is really nice looking.
Right.
Well, I mean.
Okay.
That's I mean,
let's go.
You gotta figure out. Well,
right.
The options are don't be their friend, or figure out how to put healthy boundaries in place so that everybody's is
comfortable.
Yeah, so that everybody's comfortable and everybody's protected through this.
That's right.
And so, like, that's it.
Yeah.
Those are the only two options.
That's right.
So again, if it's borderline dangerous, your marriage is worth getting out of a friendship. If it's just something that you recognize in a healthy way, then put all these boundaries in place that we've talked about and
go on the date.
enjoy your friendships.
That's right.
Enjoy
And I
enjoy doing
just
community
think
with other people.
That's right. And that is so important. Having community with other people and other believers are so important. And people that honor marriage and are choosing to honor marriage like you do. And sometimes that's making hard choices. Like, I can think of times that you were totally trying to wrap up, and here I go. Sorry.
Summer shorts.
Sorry.
Shorts. Summer shorts. All right. I've got her tickled. Hey, if you're just listening to this on a podcast, please go to our YouTube channel because it's hilarious when she gets this way because she cannot stop.
Because the next part was really serious.
Okay, let's get serious.
Okay. I can remember going to Super Bowl parties, and I love football. Like, I love football. And I used to tell you that I was going to hang out in the room with the guys because I would much rather be in there watching football than in the kitchen with the girls talking about stupid stuff. That has not changed about me. I still really love football, but I love you so much that I'll stand in the kitchen with the girls and even say, hey, or put it on my phone or ask if there's a TV in there just to have it on in the background so I can watch it, because it was not honoring of me to sit in there with all the men and joke with all of them and try to be cute in front of all of them and be one of the guys, when that was not honoring to our marriage. And that's just an example of, I think, my old self versus my new self, is that I'm very, very cautious of that now. And we have friends that I probably would be better friends and have more in common with the guy than I would the girl. But I'm hanging out with the girl because that is my community.
Right.
And if the four of us go out together, that's fun. That's fun conversation, and it's great that we, can do that. But you have to. It's a choice. It is a choice, and you have to choose to honor your spouse in every decision that you make with couple friends.
Yep. So good. I love that question. Thank you so much. Colorado. Maybe we will draw your name and come. We love Colorado.
Maybe we could ski for our double date.
But thanks so much, guys, for listening, for submitting your questions. If you haven't done that already, we would love to get a question from you. So send that in so we can consider your question for the podcast, but also put you in the drawing for our double date. And we will see you guys